So I recently had the privilege to sit down with my friend, neighbor, TV show extraordinaire, Chad Whitaker. We talked about open source software, and he's leading something called the Open Source Pledge. It's a complicated calculation. We need a spreadsheet to do it. We're going to go through how to lay out that spreadsheet right now. So in this wide-ranging interview that we did, we covered many topics, but the main topic is the open source pledge. And what this is a suggested contribution for your company to support open source, because whether or not you know it, you're running a lot of open source software to run your business. So I have one of them open on the right. This is LibreOffice. I downloaded it for free. I use it for free. And this isn't the kind of free that Google is, where you're really paying for it with advertising, or you pay a monthly fee. This is completely free, but you can still donate, and this will help you figure out how much to donate. So what we're going to do, first we're going to put a title on the spreadsheet. We'll call it Open Source Pledge. And then I'm going to pick a font, and this is a font that Chad made. There's a link to it. I'll put it in the description. He made it. He supported it. I don't know. It's this free software world where we just all share things. This is a font that he has. It's called Cesarin, something. S. How do you pronounce C-Z-A-R-N? I don't know, but I'm going to use it. Here we go. Boom. Use that font. Now it makes our spreadsheet. It gives it a little flair style, right? A little bit different. We're going to make a header on our spreadsheet, because whenever you make a spreadsheet, you should make it clear to anyone looking at it what it's about. And one way to do that is put a clear header on the top, right? So we're going to merge and center this over the top. This is going to be 3 columns wide. Now pay special attention to this calculation, because it is complex. The first factor will be the number of full-time equivalent software programmers you have. So we will say programmers. So after programmers, the next item that we need is amount, right? Dollar amount. And then total. And all of these need a bottom border, not an underline. Such a big difference. The bottom border takes the bottom border of each cell and colors and outlines the entire thing. So if you just did an underline, it would just grab the the letters TOTAL and put underline under them. But when you do a bottom border, it goes all the way across. Let's make it thick. I don't know how. Let's see if we can find out. This one looks thicker. Oh, we'll do thick, thin. 2 lines. All right, and then we're going to center the headers, because column headers always look better when they're centered. Now, so this is the number of full-time equivalent programmers at your company. We'll say we have a pretty big company. We're in software, so we have 12 programmers. The suggested donation amount is $2,000. So we'll type that in. And let's use some of the advanced functionality of LibreOffice and format this as currency, right? So let's do that. We will come up to the menu. We'll choose format as currency, and then we'll take some of those decimal places off. $2,000. We're going to use it has a weird name. We're going to use the clone formatting button to format the total. Also, we'll do that ahead of time, because we're proactive on the Prolific Oak Tree channel. Okay, so this is going to come in as a $sign. And here we want some sort of formula to multiply 2 numbers. Okay, so obviously what we want is the aggregate function. We don't, you could say A4 times, which would be the asterisk, which is when you do shift and the number 8, B4. That's just too elementary. You could do the product function, which I don't know why it exists, because you could just multiply, but you could do product A4, B4, but aggregate function, let me type this out. it has sub functions in it, right? So powerful that you can use aggregate to sum. You could use it to multiply. That's going to be option 9, I think. Let's check. We're going to click on the function wizard and see if it has this. Oh, so helpful. Aggregate. Yeah, we're going to have to look this up on the interwebs. LibreOffice. We don't want Excel help. Aggregate. All right, the aggregate function. Look, they have a website. It's going to be precise. I know it is. I like it. Okay, so the function number, look at all these functions that are within a function, is going to be 6. That's for the product. On a actually real serious note, the aggregate function is helpful sometimes. It does make things more complicated, but it also can ignore subtotals. So in this case, if you could use the aggregate function to do multiplication higher up in a list, and if you want to multiply down low, the aggregate function will ignore the previous aggregation. So if you're just using, I usually use it in the context of sum. If you're using sum, it won't double count things. But so we'll use function number 6. So let's do that first. Aggregate function 6, comma, and now it wants the options. The options, these could be handy. Not quite sure you need them in this scenario, but let's just, you never know. So if you were to come down here, one of the options, which is number 3, we're going to ignore hidden rows. You never know when there's a hidden row. Ignore errors. That's really helpful. Nested subtotals, what we just talked about. So we will, all of this functionality packed into one function. So we will say option 3. And then it wants to know what cells it's actually doing this math on. So we will say A4 to B4. We already have a parentheses on the end. We will hit enter, and there we go. This is your calculation for the, let's put this over to the right-hand side again, open source pledge. In this next video, we're going to, for the next video, you should watch this little interview where we talk about the open source pledge. It's wonderful. It takes place right over here on this couch that you never see. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.